We've got, hello everyone, although there's no one here yet, hopefully we'll have some people join us. It's just me and Jimmy this week. Hope you've all had a good week. Hope you're not too hot and bothered like we are. So we've got a few things that we wanted to talk about, but as always, if anyone wants to join us and ask some questions, please do. Here we go. We've got a few people joining. Annabelle's joined us. Hello, Annabelle.
Hey, Annabelle.
So, Jimmy, you had a couple of kind of like housekeeping issues, I suppose.
Not issues. They're not issues.
They're not issues.
My only issues are if you don't practice, then we have just a few.
Aaron's here. Hello, Aaron.
Hey, Aaron. How you doing, bud? A few hot tips.
Hot tips for lessons. So, well, I can think of three things. So, I know there are two things you wanted to talk about. What's the first thing you wanted to talk about?
First thing, I'll say it before I say it again, metronome. Yeah. We
Yeah.
always want to make sure we got a metronome with us, and preferably on a separate device. Yeah. Number two, tuning, or maybe that should have been number one. Either or, but tuning.
I think tuning is number one.
Yeah, tuning number one, metronome number two. But yeah, if you guys need a hand with tuning or anything like that, let us know. Mike's done a fantastic video, which we can help you with. And if we need to do an extra thing, if you're still struggling, we can. I
can post that in the comments, Mike's video, because that was a few months ago now when all this first started. So maybe people aren't seeing that. But yeah, the issue with tuning, is really obviously. This is one of the downsides of us not being able to see you in person, because we were always able to tune your guitars in person. Of course, we're not able to do that at the moment, so we're relying on you to do it. It really does make a difference if your guitar is in tune, because you could be playing the most amazing guitar, and if your guitar's not in tune, it's not going to sound right. So Mike's put together a video on that. And as Jimmy said, if you want any extra help with that, feel free to let us know. We can book you in for a private lesson, and we can just spend the whole half hour helping you get your guitar in tune. But the main thing is, as well, even after we've done it once for you, it is important to keep it kind of up to date, because guitars do go out of tune. Hopefully not a massive amount, but you'll be needing to fine tune it, preferably every day when you practice, because you are practicing every day, right?
Obviously. So
that's tuning. And then the second thing was metronome. Again, this is very important. So Jimmy, talk about the metronome thing for us.
So there's a bunch of free apps you can use. Don't pay for one. I mean, someone's probably going to get annoyed at me for saying that, but there's one on Google that you can use, but preferably if it's on a separate device to the one that you're using to do your lesson on, it'd be kind of nice and easy. So you have us on a screen, and then you can just turn your metronome on and off when we need you to. But yeah, it's just really, really important, because if you ever want to play in a band, play with other people, having that sense of time and being able to utilize your ideas in time is a very, very valuable thing to do. So get a metronome.
Yeah, but also in terms of the lessons as well, again, when we were at the studio, we would have the metronome there. So, we would have the metronome going probably most of the lesson, depending on what was being covered. So you didn't need to worry about bringing your own. But obviously, and of course with the time lag, because there is always a time lag with online lessons, even if we're playing a metronome at our end and you're playing perfectly in time to that metronome, we're not necessarily going to hear that you're playing in time to the metronome. So it's really, really important that for your lesson, you make sure you're in tune, or to the best that you can, and you have a metronome there. There's no good saying, oh yeah, I've got a metronome, but it's in the other room. Or, oh yeah, my mum's got the metronome, right? Make sure that you've got the metronome there in the lesson with you, because then we can get you to lead things. We can get you to lead the picking exercises. If you want to show us an exercise that you've done to get a tick, we can ask you to play that exercise along to your metronome, which is going to allow us to get a much better idea of how well in time you're playing that. Yeah, so metronomes are really important, and as Jimmy said, you don't need to spend any extra money. It's just about being a little bit more organized in advance of your lessons.
Cool.
Cool.
My last and final thing would be about your Zoom settings.
Yeah.
There's been a few times, I don't know what it is about Zoom. I think it treats anything that's not a voice as background noise.
Yeah.
So if you guys haven't set your Zoom settings properly, as soon as you start playing and I'm like listening to you, it just mutes you, so I can't hear anything. And I would very much like to be able to hear you guys. So, but again, I think I brought it up to people as it comes up. But if you need a hand doing anything like that, both myself, Vicky, and Mike, I think all can help you out with that. So.
Yeah, and I've also written a blog post on this, which I actually send out to new students, but I don't think I've sent out to you guys. So I'll put the link to the blog post in the comments as well, because again, we want to be able to hear you. You could be playing the most incredible guitar, but if Zoom is muting it, we're not going to be able to hear you, and obviously we're not going to be able to give you the go ahead to give yourself a tick. And that's what this is all about. We want to be able to hear you playing in time. We want to be able to hear what you're playing, so we can say, yep, you can do that, get yourself ticked off. Yeah,
Amazing.
cool. So I'll put all of that stuff in the comments. Jacob's joined. Hello, Jacob. Still no questions, so
guys, remember, questions can be about anything guitar related, loosely. Yeah. I'm not very good at life advice, but if there's anything like exercises in particular that you're struggling with, it can be about that. Anything like about guitar maintenance, anything you want to explore, and things that you've got suggestions for, like lessons and songs that you want to learn, just pop it in the comments. Like, we're more than happy to talk through and teach you what we can when you can, because I guess that's what these sessions are kind of for as well.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, I've got a little something that I wanted to share with you guys. I've spent the last few weeks getting submissions in, and I'm going to give another little plug here for our online what am I calling it, virtual recital on Sunday. I've had lots of submissions actually, which I've been really, really happy about. Had some great performances, people doing some really good stuff. So we're looking forward to that on Sunday. But one thing I thought you guys might be interested in, especially if you want to play along to real songs, which hopefully you do, because that's the whole point of learning guitar, not just to play a bunch of exercises and get ticks. I use a service called Karaoke Version, which I'm going to share with you now. And what it allows you to do, it's got this massive database of songs on it, and you basically search for a song, and then you can buy a backing track. And the backing tracks are like a couple of quid. They're not very much. So if there's a song that you want to learn, you can search for it, and then you can download a backing track which you can customize. And the reason why this is really good is because if you say you want to sing, oh hey Bruno, say you want to sing and play at the same time, right? You can take out the vocal track and you can take out, say, the rhythm guitar track, and then you can play along to that track as if you're doing karaoke, right? And same thing if you're a lead guitar player and you want to play the riffs and the solo, you can leave the rhythm guitar in and take the lead guitar out. So what I thought I would do is share my screen here, so you guys.
Fancy.
Hang on, let me go back.
I hope I haven't disabled it.
I hope you haven't disabled it. Yeah, so this is what it looks like. This is my Karaoke Version account. I've been using these for a few years now, and in fact, I always used to download these tracks whenever we were doing anything for the showcases. So even though people might be playing with our band, obviously you see it quite expensive to get the band together to rehearse multiple times. So I would give people backing tracks so they could practice along with the track first, and then they would come and do a couple of rehearsals with the band. So, you know, this is a really cool thing for that. But also at the moment, because we're not allowed to play in bands at the moment, it's just, you know, it's just a lot of fun. So rather than just playing a chord progression over and over again, you get to actually play along with the song. So if I find a track over here, and I'm not going to use the Dua Lipa one, Jimmy, because it hasn't got any guitar on it. I know it's a good song. We're going to go with Shallow by Lady Gaga.
It's no Dua Lipa.
So what we can do then, we can't hear the song now, annoyingly, but if we want to put an intro count in, that's usually a very good idea. So we know when to come in. There we go. You can hear me. You can still hear me now, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pause that actually. And what you can also do, you can put a metronome click in. So if you want to hear a metronome click going along with the song as well, that's also going to help you stay in time. But you can take out certain instruments. So say, for example, you want to sing and play this song, right? You can take out, or say you're going to do a duet with Bradley Cooper, right? You can take out Lady Gaga's vocals, and then it will be you singing Lady Gaga's vocals and Bradley Cooper coming in. If you've got a Lady Gaga and a Bradley Cooper and you both want to sing, you can take that out, right? And you can take the guitars out as well. So, you know, say you want to just take the acoustic guitars out, for example, you can do that. You can pan different instruments left and right and center, so you can do a bit of mixing if you want to. And you can also, where are we? Yeah, and you can also download. So what you need to do, look, it's $1.99 bargain, right? You can also download, like once you've downloaded the entire track, then you can go in and you can make multiple changes to it. So you can have different versions of the track with different instruments and things on it as well. So
without paying any more money,
over here to my files that I've downloaded, and some of you might recognize some of these previous songs that we've done in showcases and open mics and things. So if I click on You Shook Me All Night Long, which I think Tarun did, didn't he? There we go, I'm going to turn it off now. A couple of years ago. So this is the version already saved here that I downloaded and gave to Tarun when he did the song. But I can also, now that I've got this, now that I've bought this, I can also then make different versions. So for example, I might want to put a metronome in. I might want to put some of the guitars back in. I might want to put the vocals back in, but take the backing vocals out. I don't know, take the bass out, you know, and then I can download a different version of that. So it's really good fun to kind of play around with this. The only thing it doesn't do, which I've been waiting for it to do for a while, is you can't change the tempo. So it's very important that you learn to play the song up to speed first before you have a go at playing along with the backing track. And of course that's where your metronome comes in, because you can measure the speed of the song. It tells you what the tempo is, so it tells you that this song is 128 BPM. If you want to be able to play along with it, you've got to be able to play it at 128. And then once you can do that, then you can have a go at playing along with the backing track. But you can change the key. So the key you can change, the tempo you can't. But Jimmy, I'm sure you know of other programs and things where you can fuck around with the tempo, yeah?
I've not used it in a while, so I don't know if it still works. But there's a program called Transcribe. You just you can drop in MP4s, MP3s, so video files, or just songs, WAV files, whatever. And then you can slow it down, you can speed it up, but it doesn't change the pitch of the song. And it's not like, you know, and you can change the key as well. So if, especially if you're doing like Slash stuff, Guns N' Roses, and you don't want to detune your guitar down by half a step, it is very, very useful to do that.
Yes.
I will have a look into that, because I've not downloaded it on the computer that I'm using now, but on my old one. but I'll see if I can get a copy and if it still works. But it's a great program. I think it was like a tenner or something like that. But
yeah, I think I've heard of that, Transcribe. In fact, I think I maybe even used to use it a few years ago.
yeah,
It's been around a while, hasn't it?
yeah.
But
So
yeah,
that was a great program. Obviously, if you get your backing tracks from there and you are working up to speed and stuff, then you can slow them down at least if you know
yeah.
if you've got the program. So
Like anything to make your practice a bit more fun, really. And yeah, I've got a lot of value out of this program. I mean, obviously for performances and stuff that we've done, but yeah, now I feel like now is a good time for students to start looking into this as well, because you know who knows when we're going to be able to get together and play, play together again. Hopefully not too far away.
fingers crossed. I mean, just on the topic of making practicing fun, I normally suggest this to my bass players, but guitar players do it too. If you can find somewhere that does like drum loops rather than a metronome, if you find playing to a metronome is quite difficult, if you've got a drum beat going, da da ba da da da, and practice what you practice into a drum groove rather than just a straight click, it can really make practice a bit more enjoyable and fun, especially if you're like working on some chord changes or things like that. It just sounds a lot nicer personally.
Yeah. And also, if you're playing along to a drum group, and you can find loads of these on YouTube, just go in and type drum track with the BPM, and, squillions of them come up. So, but yeah, if you're playing along to a drum track, you're going to get more into a groove as well, because you'll be able to hear where the kick drum hits and where the snare drum hits, and you'll be much more likely to kind of lock in naturally with what the drummer's doing than if you're just playing to a kind of, a mechanical click. So yeah, so drums are good too. Hi Sev, anyone got any questions?
Better late than never, Seb.
Yeah.
Are there any questions?
I can't see any.
No, I don't think so. Anything you want to share with the group? It's not like a meeting or anything.
Well,
but...
I've shared my tip for this week, which is karaoke version, and yeah, I know that's weird that you couldn't hear me talking over it, because I've done stuff before where you can. Oh well.
We'll edit it out
we'll edit it out in the YouTube version, exactly, which always looks much slicker than the Facebook lives. No, I mean, the only other thing I've got to share is the virtual recital on Sunday. Again, another plug for that. It's going to be 2:00. I'm going to send a Zoom link out to everyone, all the students, in the morning on Sunday. And Jimmy will, I'll probably need either you or Mike to set up a different Zoom link, because I'm not going to use the same ones for the lessons, because we want people to invite friends and families, so we're going to have a different link.
I'll just be in the green room. Yeah, fine.
Yeah, so we'll sort that out. So yeah, we will email everyone about that on Sunday morning. We're going to kick off at 2:00. I've had some really cool performances. Really looking forward to sharing them with everyone. But yeah, that's about it really from me. I'm going to spend, I started editing them this morning, and I'm going to spend most of the day tomorrow editing it into a nice slick performance.
Excellent.
Cool. So unless anyone's got any other questions, I think we will leave it here for today. You got a minute, guys, if you want to ask us anything.
In the meantime, I'll waffle with all the things that I want you to do. Practice your reading. Practice your reading. Yeah. If you get stuck with your reading, messages. Yeah. So I'm not doing it for all my groups yet, but for a lot of them, we're basically tackling the scariest looking ones to kind of show you that when we break it down and go over it, reading's not as scary as it kind of can appear to be sometimes, unless it's exercise 282 in senior 3.
Oh, really?
But no, it's not that bad. It's not that bad once you know the chord shapes, but it's just fast if you do it at the ping speed. But yeah, so practice your reading, guys. I think is that 3 or 4 times I've said that now, just to let that one sink in. Anything else? Don't think so. Practice your chords, your chord changes.
Definitely.
When you practice your harmonic arpeggios, practice them with the chord pressed down rather than, just one finger if you can get around it, because you want to be able to, if say you've got an E minor, you want both fingers pressed down rather than, just the one that you need or anything. So you make sure that you're practicing the chord and all the strings ring out and that our hands are in the right place.
And similarly, when you're practicing melodic arpeggios, do not leave your fingers pressed down.
Excellent. No questions from Bruno, but he likes the look of the karaoke version.
Cool. I'll put that link in the comments. So we got the tuning link, the metronome link, and the karaoke version link to put in the comments. So this all, so shorter one today, guys, but a bunch of stuff to put in the comments for you.
Cool.
All right, Jimmy. So I will see you Sunday, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say I'd see you there, but I'm going to be here. But I never know what to say on these things anymore. It's all a bit.
I know.
But,
and guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll see some of you guys on Sunday as well. Looking forward to seeing some of those performances. All right, take care then, guys. See you later. Have a good weekend. Bye bye.